Hi, I'm Nick Hodge with the Outsider Club. I'm sitting down with Jeff Wright. He's the Executive Vice President of GoldMining. GoldMining has the fortunate ticker of GOLD in Toronto and GLDLF in the US. Jeff, thank you very much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Nick.
I think many of my readers are going to be familiar with the GoldMining story. It's been a recommendation of mine for a long time. I raised them some money in the big raise they did 18 months or 2 years ago, whatever that was. And you're a new member to the management team. You come from the investment banking world. Can you just give readers a quick background on yourself?
Yeah, sure. I joined the company in January, February in preparation for PDAC this year. My background was as an investment banker raising capital for small and micro-cap mining stocks over the past 12 to 15 years.
And can you describe the gold mining strategy for us, because it's a bit different than raw exploration or development?
Yeah, certainly. So GoldMining, as you know, is a gold acquisition company where we have been acquiring very attractive projects over the past 6-7 years, exclusively in the Americas. So our projects range from Alaska in the north, we have the Whistler project, ranging all the way down to Peru, but really the genesis of the company started in Brazil. We have a couple latter stage projects in Brazil, such as São Jorge, 1.7 million ounce deposit. Latter stage has a preliminary economic assessment with that project. Open pittable, very good grades, north of 1.5 grams per ton. Our larger projects are in Colombia. We were able to acquire the Titiribi and Lamina deposits, which are in close proximity to one another, about 6 to 7 kilometers apart. We envision that as one larger mining complex for development in the future years.
And you also have Crucero down in Peru, which is a fast heating up district.
Yes, in the Puna district.
That's right. So you have over 20 million ounces in your gold bank, as we'll call it, and you have 11 million bucks cash. What's the current plan for gold mining?
Sure. Future upcoming plans for us and things we've already delivered on this year. We were able to uplist from the Toronto Venture Exchange to the main Toronto Exchange back in the spring. Mm-hmm. I think we've seen a rise in the liquidity of the stocks, helping out shareholders. While we're currently not pleased with our current valuation, we think by making incremental improvements to some of the projects, which we've been doing this year, doing some of the latter stage planning, permitting work, we've been able to acquire additional contiguous land claims to make some of these projects more enticing for future development, joint venture, or potential sale down the road. And lastly, we've also cleaned up some of the legacy royalties on a couple of the projects. Mm-hmm. Moving forward, what we're looking for in the second half of the year and in 2019, our most recent acquisition was the Yellowknife gold project in the Northwest Territory, which I know you're intimately familiar with. Mm-hmm. We're in the process of working with SRK to reestablish that historic resource. So I can't really talk about what those numbers were, mm-hmm. but we should be in pretty tight range as well on that resource. Open pittable project in the Northwest Territory. One of the common threads that people ask me, we have these projects spread across the Americas. What's the commonality? So when we look at projects, and we're still looking for additional projects, we look for a couple key things. One, does a project have more than 1 million ounces? Yes. Does the project have existing infrastructure either in close proximity or to site? Is there a mining camp already built in some cases? Mm-hmm. Those are the key elements that we're looking for when we look at new acquisitions. With almost without exception, our projects right now have those key characteristics. So when they reach construction phase, we're not having to construct brand new roads, new power lines, water pipelines. And even on a larger scale, we're not looking to build rail infrastructure or build a seaport in any case. We're really focused on the projects themselves and advancing these towards a construction decision.
Well, you're cashed up, and so you're not here looking for money, which means you're here looking for deals. Have you found anything?
Nothing I can announce to you, but definitely a number of enticing, attractive prospects in the Americas.
So is it fair to say that gold mining is still shopping?
Yes. We're certainly in the market for additional projects, looking probably a little bit larger size. We have currently 21.5 million ounces on our books right now, not including what we think the Yellowknife project will additionally add. Mm-hmm. We're hopeful to announce that resource by the end of the year. So the next stage projects we'd be looking for, we'd be looking to, fill in some of the geography. Project in Mexico, a project in Nevada, potentially another project in Canada, maybe British Columbia or in Ontario. Looking in South America, looked at projects and considered projects in Chile, Argentina, Ecuador. So there's very few jurisdictions we're not willing to examine at this point.
So always doing diligence.
Yes.
So what do you see for gold mining in the next 6 months? Can we look for news flow on the acquisition front? Can we look for news flow on the incremental advancement and royalty cleanup of the existing projects you were talking about, or a combination of the both?
Well, I think the big news flow items would be with the Yellowknife project, having a new resource in the market that we can talk about, inviting people up to site to see what type of project this is. Not a lot of work's been done on the project in the past few years. In addition to that, while we have no plans for a drill campaign at any of our projects right now, we're looking at additional, metallurgical work we can do on a couple of the projects to advance them. Certainly also looking at some of the earlier stage exploration on a couple other projects of how do we make this a bigger, more exploration-friendly package in a couple cases.
I like that you're out there buying. It means you still think there's legs in the gold market, that it's going to come back, that we're going to see higher prices, and the strategy that Amir and Gold Mining has been pursuing of land banking optionality plays is going to pay off. Definitely.
We see a lot of value in a number of companies that are running low on cash, but the projects are still there. North of 1 million ounces in established mining jurisdictions with a clear path towards permitting.
Anything else we need to know?
No, I think that's it.
Fairly new Executive Vice President of Gold Mining, Jeff Wright, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nick.